Truly Unsettling Underground Places in the UK. The UK has no shortage of creepy locations. You can't turn a corner without stumbling on a medieval pub, a Tudor mansion, or an ancient, crumbling abbey. And that is perhaps not too surprising, given that experts believe human beings have inhabited the UK for around 850,000 years. Hellfire Caves. Atop a sunny hillside in Buckinghamshire, England, sits a harmless-looking church and mausoleum surrounded by rolling countryside. What the casual observer might not realize is that beneath this hill, deep inside the earth, lies a very old network of hand-hewn tunnels and chambers. They are reputed to have been used for very dark purposes in the 18th century by their creator, Sir Francis Dashwood. Dashwood had a lot of money and, apparently, far too much time on his hands. He came up with a plan to expand the existing network of caves under his land and created a secret underground space, which he used to host gatherings of his infamous Hellfire Club. This secretive members-only group was rumored to engage in all manner of unchristian vices, including monk-themed sex parties, pagan rituals, and even human sacrifice. We'll never know exactly what they got up to because the club's secretary, Paul Whitehead, made a point of burning the records on his deathbed. You can visit the Hellfire Caves today and explore Dashwood's elaborate creation, which includes a great hall and an inner temple. Did you know that Benjamin Franklin was good friends with Dashwood and visited the caves himself on more than one occasion? The mind boggles. Mary King's Close. Edinburgh, Scotland, isn't short of a ghost story or two. With its gloriously ancient castle, its myriad of dark, shadowy alleyways, and its time-worn cobbled streets, any visitor would be forgiven for feeling a chill even on the brightest of summer days. But the real horrors lie beneath. The city's old town is famously built over a maze of hidden vaults and chambers, which were once slums and tenements housing Edinburgh's poor. Life in the slums was miserable, overcrowded, and dangerous, with crime and disease running rife. Space was sparse, and families lived nose to nose, sharing one-room houses where they lived, ate, and slept. In an attempt to expand, residents built upward. Some buildings reached 14 stories high. As the city developed and modernized, the slums were built over and eventually sealed off. It wasn't until the 1980s that they were rediscovered, and many are now open to the public. Mary King's Close is a completely preserved 17th-century street, now deep underground, which has been open for visitors since 2003. The close was named after a fabric merchant who was widowed with 4 children and forced to make her own way in the world. She bought 2 properties on the close, a house and a stall, and became a prominent and well-respected trader. During Mary's time on the close, it was the second largest street in Edinburgh, overshadowed only by the Royal Mile. Secret wartime tunnels, Dover. Deep beneath Dover Castle lies a network of man-made tunnels reaching out into the White Cliffs. Some of these tunnels are so old they date back to medieval times, and they were built and used throughout history in times of war and conflict. During World War II, the area in and around Dover became central to the defense of the country, especially after France fell to Nazi soldiers in 1940. Old tunnels were repurposed, and new tunnels were built to house a naval base and army headquarters. It was from here that Operation Dynamo was coordinated, which evacuated 338,226 Allied troops from Dunkirk. In 1941, officials built an underground hospital inside the White Cliffs to support the war effort. It was situated closer to the surface than the other tunnels for ease of access and was used to treat injured pilots and provide first aid to casualties of the nearby air raids in Dover. Situating the hospital deep underground was a genius move. It meant that the hospital was one of the few places not vulnerable to bombing or shelling, leaving staff safe to carry out their duties unhindered. It must have been a tad cramped, though. That's it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.